Here we go again. You know what day it is.
Manic Monday. Wish it was Sunday. That's my fun day. I don't have to run day. It's just another Manic Monday.
So, it's taken long enough, and I've had to really cut up this video, but we're finally getting to noise and motion reactive dogs. And this is one that Elizabeth had requested. Now, the toughest part in explaining this and why it took so long to begin with is that it's really hard to explain what exactly a reactive dog is, because it's kind of complicated. See, a reactive dog is a dog who, loses their mind. They flip out. They kind of make a fool of themselves. They lose control when they're exposed to certain stimuli, which are referred to as triggers. Now, there are a huge amount of things that can trigger a dog to reacting. It can be anything from men wearing hats, or people wearing sunglasses, or screechy children, other dogs, sudden loud noises they're not expecting, a plastic bag being shaken open, kids running. And their reactions of the dogs can be very varied too. It can be barking or snarling or growling or crying or screaming at the top of their lungs or trying to hide or hide behind somebody or losing control of our bodily functions. And every reactive dog has a threshold. That's the point where they kind of lose their mind. Before they get to that point, they might just act a little bit on the nervous side, but they're still in total control, and they'll still pay attention to their handler. But when they reach that tip of their threshold, they literally can't pay attention to anything. And so it doesn't matter if their human yells at them, or yanks on their leash, or waves food in front of their face. They act like they don't even know you exist. All they can do is watch what triggered them and react to that. And so it's really hard to calm a dog down when they're in that state. You have to take them out of that state, out of that environment to calm them down. Now, truly reactive dogs are fear-based. All the carrying on that they can do, their barking, their lunging, their snarling, it can make them look like they're confident or obnoxious or even vicious. But really, it's just the opposite. This is a dog that totally lacks self-confidence. They're afraid of the thing that triggers them, and their reaction, they could perform it to scare whatever is triggering them away. So, how do you help a reactive dog? Well, honestly, you need a professional. 9 times out of 10, it's really hard to do it on your own because you have to be really careful with what you do that you don't make the dog worse. Let me explain. So, a behaviorist or trainer might suggest desensitizing a dog very slowly if the dog only had to deal with triggers once in a blue moon, like going to the vet's office once or twice a year. If that's when that was their trigger, going into that vet's office where they totally spazzed out once they got there, that's something that you could work on over a long period of time. However, if you have a dog that spazzes out, like totally goes berserk every single time you walk outside and there's a child running down the street, and you have to deal with this every single day, and you're worried about the welfare of your dog's emotional state, well, then they might have to do a little faster track, which is called flooding. The reason that you need a professional to guide you in this is that if it's not done right, if it's not timed right, if you flood when you should have been going really slow, adding stimuli, if you do the opposite, if you try and put the pedal to the metal, so to speak, you could end up making your dog be fearful of you and even mistrust you, which could make them even more reactive. So this is why it's such a complicated thing, and sometimes it's easy to fix, but you really need a professional to be able to see your dog in action so they can give you the right steps to take. The one thing to remember if you have a dog that is reactive is it's not their fault. They have an emotional issue, just like humans can have emotional issues, and they really need understanding and love and compassion, just like a human who has issues would need. And so I urge you to seek out professional help, talk to your veterinarian to see if they can refer you to a behaviorist or a trainer who has experience in dealing with overreactive dogs, and guiding your dog in the most gentle way so that they can be comfortable living in their own fur. And the one golden rule you want to remember if you have a reactive dog is, like I said before, you don't want to yell at them if they're getting overreactive, but you also don't want to praise them. A lot of times humans will try and soothe us dogs. You want to humanize us. You want to say, it's okay. You want to pet us. You want to say, it's okay. Everything's going to be all right. You're such a good dog. You just want to make us feel better. But it's just the opposite. Because what you're telling your dog is, it's okay to be crazy. It's okay to be scared of this. It's okay to act inappropriate. I love you when you act like this. And so your best thing to do until you get professional help is try and ignore your dog's reaction and try and remove them from the situation that got them upset. I hope this helps, and I'll have another video tomorrow. Yes, we're doing fashion tomorrow. Tuesday. Fancy that. Okay, so see you tomorrow. Have a great one. Good night.